Welcome back to another video. I'm Rick Marks. Motivation. How do you get unlimited motivation? And this sort of plays into previous videos where I've talked about your purpose and all of those things that lead to success. And part of it is being motivated. So when you find something that you have passion and your purpose is there, you will find it much more easier to get motivated. You know, it's the boring stuff, it's the washing, it's the dishes, it's all the jobs that we don't find any level of passion or enjoyment from that makes it so that we lose motivation. So in life, how do we do that, and how do we remain motivated? Now, there's many different people, you know, some claim they've got ADHD, and there's a lot of different mindsets and stuff. And I know that for myself, I'm easily sort of, I guess, distracted. So I can start by putting a lot of washing on, and then I realize that this happens, and then I realize that that needed to be done. And then before I know it, I'm actually off task and I'm doing something completely different. That doesn't necessarily work against motivation. It can be harnessed, and this is where learning to control, and I suppose when you become aware of something, you can gain control of it. Now, I haven't been part of Alcoholics Anonymous or any of those sorts of groups as such, but I think a lot of it is once you actually actively, and this is the difference between the subconscious and the conscious mind, once you actively understand what is wrong or where the problem lies, you can then actively work to create a change, which then consistency to doing that change will work into your subconscious, and therefore then you subconsciously are now achieving greatness. So that's, I guess, where the ultimate motivation lies, is in remaining motivated unlimitedly, is in the fact that you just need to work out where your distraction points are and then work out how you can gain control over that. So if when you find a certain task comes up and then you get distracted, be conscious, be active. And I suppose this plays back to journaling, will help you to, I suppose, track and navigate that. So then you can kind of go, okay, so every time that I have to do, you know, X task, I find it much more easier to, oh look, the bin needs to be emptied, I'll go and do that. Work out right there, snap it and go, that's my distraction point. Why don't I do that job? Like, what is it about that report? What is it about the X task that I don't like? And drill down into it. And I think that's the problem more often than not. We rather than analyze and understand and give it the conscious mind that we can then go, all right, so I don't like doing it because whatever, and then find a way to pivot that mindset and change it. Because a lot of the time it's in our mind. There's a lot of unsaid things that go on in our head in terms of why we don't choose to do certain things or pursue certain dreams, because in our head we go, well, we're going to fail, or they're all the unsaid things. Now, they're all subconscious, but they're all in our mind. That's the crazy aspect. When you actually start to break it down, you realize in our mind, these are all those unsaid things. These are all those thoughts that we have that are not real. And that's pivoting it back to reality versus your reality. Each of us walk a path, and it's a collation of all of our upbringing. They're all the things we've been told, all the things we've heard along our years of life that create a view of the world and a view of ourselves and a view of certain tasks. You might actually find that doing the dishes as a kid growing up, the dishes represented a negative emotion for you. You know, it might have turned into a battle with your siblings, or your parents could have fought over the kitchen sink, and that had a negative effect whatever it be, once you can start to realize that that's what created that perspective for you, how can you reframe that? How can you change it from being a negative association to being a positive association? And then you can then reprogram your thinking to realize that it's just in your mind, that that is the scenario. You can then overcome that distraction, that fear as such, call it what you will, and no longer will you be in that entrapment, and you'll be able to rise above it. You'll be able to then reprogram your brain, and you can do this with anything really, and that's, I guess, the key to understanding how you can rise above and remain 100% on task is by making those conscious things. You can change your brain process, your thinking about everything, because really the way you view that, if you talk to somebody else, they're seeing it from a different perspective because their life experience is completely different to yours. So this is almost like colorblind people, for instance. You can say that's red and they're looking at it going, that's orange. Now, who's right? Now, technically you're both right by the perspective of each individual. Now, with that thinking, pivot that across into anything changing. But if you can consciously realize where that stick point is and where you deflect or where you move off task, you can then consciously drill down, create a new pattern, create a new thought and a new association, and then you're going to have to actively work on that for a period of time. So I think they reckon 20 odd days. I'm not a stickler for stats and figures and stuff, but you just need to actively do it and actively do it and actively do it. And eventually, before you know it, you're going to be just subconsciously, you will view that task differently. And then you can move on to the next, or you can be doing multiple ones all along. You can be reprogramming your brain on multiple fronts. None of us have to stick with our view of the world or the way we see things if we understand how we can reprogram it. So once you can learn to reprogram your brain, this is where the mindset of a lot of cultures that have people who are, for want of a better term, say stuck in poverty. It's a mindset. It's a mindset that they are stuck there, that this is just how life is and this is the reality. But none of them are any less capable than you or I. None of them, they could change the situation if they had the mindset, if they had the understanding and the awareness that it was a problem. And that's where for yourself, if you're finding that you're moving off a task, make that conscious assessment and work out why, reprogram, work out how do you want to change it is probably the other thing. And this is where having a coach or a mentor or somebody who you can work through those things, they can give you perspective and an idea of how you might be able to do it. Then they can also help you to stay on task and move through consciously making that a new habit, which then will in turn change your mindset. And then you will be actually actively seeing the world in a different light to how you were raised, I guess, with those views. We're coming to the end of the 9 a.m. this video. If you've enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up. If you've got comments, if you agree, disagree, if you've got other thinking, other theories, chuck them in the comments below. 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, new videos coming out Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday I have off. If you've enjoyed it, great. Have a great day. Enjoy living to the fullest. And you'll see me here 9 a.m. tomorrow. Bye for now.